So the UFC 318 press conference is just wrapped up, lads, and this shit got me fired up, man. I mean, I wasn't even supposed to make a video about this because as fans, we just know at this point that these press conferences are bound to be shit. But with this one, it particularly pissed me off because I think it could have been avoided, and I just want to go on a rant. But yeah, I'll elaborate. And first things first, guys, I just want to show you one of my favorite clips from this press conference. Um, just give me a sec, guys. What the fuck is this, man? Listen, dude, get this shit off my screen right now. Yeah, I don't know what the UFC is doing with this boxing. I want to really hammer this point home because the UFC is just anti-promoting itself at this point. I mean, what did they say in that shit? They were like, boxing is the literal impetus of a one man's will against. Shut the fuck up, man. I'm not trying to hear this as a UFC fan. Um, I think we need to rally against this dude. Yeah, the UFC just doesn't give a fuck anymore. They're literally trying to promote boxing and literally like just downgrading MMA as a sport. And it just pisses me off, dude. I mean, I dabble in boxing sometimes. I sometimes just watch it for the hell of it, but fuck me, that pisses me off. Yeah, I don't care, dude. And that really pissed me off. I clicked on the fucking video immediately. That should put me in a fucking sour mood, all right? Um, yeah, let's move on to the actual press conference, guys. Um, First up, I want to address an elephant in the room for this press conference, and that was this fight right here, dude. Marvin Vettori versus Brendan Allen not being on the press conference. I mean, dude, they literally didn't put these guys on the main card purely so that they weren't at this press conference. And I think this is something that UFC fans don't understand because I think they're just thinking like, oh, what is the UFC doing, guys? They don't understand. I mean, this is a heated matchup, and they don't get. Dude, the UFC literally is trying to avoid heat. They don't give a fuck anymore. Like the UFC literally knows this matchup is going to have beef if they were to put it in a press conference, and that's the reason these fuckers went on the main card. All right, it's not that they just don't know what's happening. And I think this is something that just needs to be fully addressed. Let's just say it how it is, dude. Um, yeah, MMA fans don't get it. The UFC is straight up trying to avoid heat. Yeah, bro, imagine you had Marvin Vettori and Brendan Allen at this press conference with Paulo Costa on stage and Kevin Holland. Dude, this literally could have been like a sick press conference. Like maybe Colby Covington-esque types of like chaos, dude. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, purely because they weren't here, it just turned the press conference to shit. I mean, you literally could have had Apollo Costa, Marvin Vettori back and forth. You could have gotten Kevin Holland involved somehow. Yeah, I mean, bro, I don't know what the UFC is like. Thing is, dude, the UFC straight up just wants the fighters to be dapping each other up before the fights. They don't want heat. Um, and this just straight up fucks up the company in major ways because a large reason why fans become fans is because of clips. Like, I mean, bro, you have like Kevin Lee and Michael Chiesa having like a legendary clip in UFC history. Those guys aren't really like legends in any way, but they have this legendary clip out there that just promotes. It just is a clip out there that we can put in edits and shit, dude. And same thing with the Ilia Topuria Max Holloway face off. That wasn't even a real face off, and people still make clips of that shit. Um, and the UFC just is trying to avoid those type of like moments in UFC history. And I know this would have been a moment in UFC history, dude, and it doesn't matter that Marvin Vettori isn't like the most mid fighter in this entire weight class, and maybe two or three down as well. Um, and that Brendan Allen is like a dumb fighter that'll probably never make it to the top. Like, we just need like moments at these press conferences, dude, to actually like make fans of the sport. And the UFC just doesn't want to do it. I mean, look at the look at the response that the Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway face-off got. It was literally an online Zoom call, and it still has like 5 moments that you can put in clips, dude. And I always crack up every time I see that Topuria Joe clip as well. But yeah, dude, just shit like that. The UFC is trying to avoid it. I mean, there's a reason they haven't done that since, and not because of the response to it. The response was literally positive. It's because they are trying to avoid beefs in these matchups. It just majorly takes away with it. This was a major elephant in the room. Um, yeah, dude, we need to address this. These guys are literally the, apart from Dustin and Max, they're literally the highest ranked fighters on this entire card. And they're not on the main card for some reason. This is not a fucking coincidence. All right, what the fuck don't you understand, guys? This is not a coincidence. The UFC is trying to get rid of heat in matchups. Um, yeah, let's go on to address the rest of this card. Again, guys, some fucking dumbass reporters were handling this card. Michael Johnson, Daniel Zahuba actually had a cool back and forth. It was like in the first 5 minutes of the press conference. Michael Johnson pretty much talks about how Daniel Zahuba, he's a young buck and he's trying to take my spot. And then Daniel Zahuba just wouldn't have it. He was like, "Shut the fuck up, man. Shut the fuck up, man." And then Michael Johnson just calls him gay. I'm going there. I'm out there like, let's get it, bro. You know what I'm saying? But um, yeah. And then fucking Oscar Willis just interrupts immediately as soon as Michael Johnson brings up LGBTQ, and then he asks Kevin Holland a fucking question. Like, brother, we literally have the crowd cheering right now, begging for more back and forth, and then you're literally just moving on to Kevin Holland. Like, Jesus Christ. And then they don't get asked, and then they don't speak for the rest of the press conference because they're not asked another question by these dumbass reporters. Straight up, it's like, bro, it actually angers me that these people make a living out of that shit. Like, you can be a UFC reporter and fucking make money, dude. Like, dude, I prefer ChatGPT to be asking these fuckers questions because it'd probably be more entertaining. I mean, Jesus Christ. Fucking UFC reporters, some of the biggest tards on the planet. And Dan Ige versus Patricio Pitbull. Dan Ige was literally just being respectful. Some reporter asked about last time at UFC 308. Hawaii had a rough one because Dan Ige and Max Holloway both lost. Don't really care. It's just little bit of a creative question, but who gives a fuck? And Dan Ige goes on to say, Patricio Pitbull, his loss to Yair, it was just a bad stylistic matchup, man. I mean, he's legendary. He's a multiple time champ. Dude, where is he a multiple time world champion in? PFL. Pitbull's shit. All right. Um, and you know what else is shit? It's Pitbull's fucking trash talk. I swear um it's like a new saying now. I'm gonna bring fire to this cage. I swear it's like a new catchphrase that these guys all have. Um, like, dude, I'm going to bring fire to this cage. Like, we're not fucking talking about how cold of a line that was, little bro. Like, this guy literally had like you know how like JDM has like these one-liner responses, just a few words, and then he just like stops, and that's it. Like, Pitbull was literally trying to have that, but he just doesn't have the aura because he's literally proven to be mid in his last fight. And the reporters ask him the exact same questions of how real MMA fans know how good you are. How are you gonna show this dude? We literally saw in his last fight that he was mid. Um, the whole mystique with these PFL guys is that they're new, and we kind of like know that they're decent, but we don't know if they'll be able to translate that. We've already seen him try to translate that, and he was fucking shit. All right, Yaya didn't show up that much either, but we know that Pitbull's mid, and he's going to lose this fucking fight against Dan Ige. Um, Now Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez. I mean, these guys. I kind of expected a little more out of Kevin Holland, to be honest, from this press conference. Um, yeah, he kind of just like had some corny lines. That was about it. I don't really remember it. I don't give a fuck. Daniel Rodriguez walks up with a fucking basketball shirt. Dude, fuck basketball. Anyway, let's move on. Paulo Costa on coke, dude. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this guy, dude. I'm honestly pretty concerned. I'm a Paulo Costa fan purely because of just how funny he is as a person in general. Um, but yeah, dude, this guy. If you're a Paulo Costa fan, you're not enjoying life right now because this guy looks like he's about to have a Conor McGregor-esque downfall, dude. I don't know if it's the weight cut or if he's been on some shit, dude, but yeah, like, yeah, I just hope he doesn't get absolutely humiliated in this fight. Um, he did have some moments in the press conference though. He was like, I'm going to, you see this energy from the crowd. I'm going to use this energy to knock this guy out. I don't have anything against him. He's just a little boy. Like, I don't know, he had some lines. He called Roman Kopylov a little boy. A bit weird. But Kopylov does give those vibes too fair. But yeah, a little bit of weird energy from Costa. He was a fucking Funko Pop the way he was fucking moving weird in this press conference. This guy was tweaking out hard. Um, yeah, I honestly think he's gonna get humiliated come Saturday, dude. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be great for him. And then Kopylov, I mean, he kind of just gets one question. And you know how there's always that one Russian reporter, dude, who you know who the fuck they're gonna ask the question to. Um, I swear that shit always just puts me in a sour mood immediately. But yeah, I'll just bring up the picture of the guy. My question is for Roman Kopylov. I'll break it like it. Shut the fuck up, you stupid cunt. Anyway, um, yeah, that kind of pissed me off. But yeah, Kopylov is probably gonna get the W against Costa, and I really had hoped my boy doesn't get humiliated that bad, to be honest. Bro literally lost to Marvin Vettori. But anyway, Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. I mean, Dustin Poirier was literally just having like a he was just having like the type of session that you think he'd have in his retirement fight. Everyone's asking him, are you fulfilled at the end of your career? Just asking him the most boring questions of all time, dude. And I get like you wanna send off Dustin Poirier, well, but dude, save this like tearing up shit for after the fight, man. Like we're trying to see a press conference right now, dude, and we're asking him type of questions that would be like asked like in a fucking close interview, dude. Like yeah, it's we're not trying to hear this shit, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like play it up to the Louisiana crowd and shit, but yeah, I'm just not trying to hear that shit all too much, dude. And Max Holloway, he turns heel. Ooh, he asked for the boos. He asked the crowd to boo him. I don't really care. Like this guy's not having these Ilia Topuria promotable-esque moments where he's like apologizing to Dustin that it had to be him or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really care if he's asking for booze. You know, the UFC posted a YouTube short or something. I got a notification for it that Max Holloway, he doesn't care about the booze, bro. I don't give a fuck, man. Like, yeah. But yeah, that pretty much summed up this whole press conference, dude. Again, it was shit. We've come to expect this at this point, but I feel like a lot of fans really don't understand that the UFC really doesn't want heated matchups, dude. Like, let's just call it for how it is. They're owned by Disney now, you know what I mean? You know, I use Disney Plus to watch the fights because it's convenient, but yeah, these guys are they're just fucking not they're just out of touch and they actually just they don't want heated matchups, dude. Um, it's killing the sport. What how the fighters are damn near unpromotable. Um, and they don't deserve a pay rise, is what I said. But yeah, dude, this was my rant video. Um, wasn't even supposed to make this, but yeah, I'll see you in the recap video for sure. Goodbye, guys.